Tonight we're going to be a little politically incorrect. Oh, well, it's my network. I was talking to our guest that you're going to meet here in just a few minutes, and nobody wants to be a pig. Nobody wants to be, nobody wants to say the unpopular things. We just want to talk about the truth tonight. So if a few feathers are ruffled, oh well. Last week, Leon Panetta and the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Martin Dempsey, announced that they are going to lift the policy that bars women from specific combat roles. This is the dumbest idea I've ever heard. Women now fight on the front lines. Democrats are hailing the move as another giant leap forward for equality. Progress, forward. And on the outside looking in, it's one of those feel-good stories. Oh, great, women are great soldiers too. They deserve an equal chance. Oh, it's great. Yeah, except an equal chance, that means something bad could happen if you're playing chance. That means somebody could die. And maybe it's not her. Maybe it's your son. Maybe it is her. Maybe it is your daughter. Maybe it's you. Why wouldn't you go to the table with the highest odds? It is true that countless women are amazing pilots, amazing sharpshooters, medics, officers, and they argue if women are equal in every other area of the military, why should it be different for combat? They view that as a rhetorical open-shut case, but there are a ton of really good reasons. First and foremost being that the military is not designed to be a beacon of equality. It's designed to defend the country in times of danger. And quite honestly, to be real honest with you, war is the act of killing each other. And to win, you have to kill people faster than the other team. That's what war is all about. The enemy's not going to cower in defeat because we have a female Eskimo, Hispanic dwarf crossdresser, and some handy-capable transgendered breast cancer survivor as a soldier on the front line, ready to unleash an attack of unparalleled diversity. No, that's not going to do it. You got to kill them. That's how you make people cower in defeat. When they see America's most badass fighting machines kicking the snot out of them, thousands of badass Marcus Luttrells wreaking havoc. That's what does it. Those who want women on the front lines will point to the many women who have already bravely served in Iraq and Afghanistan and fought, shooting, getting injured, getting blown up. But combat is a different ballgame. Combat is going in and taking a town, going house to house, banging down doors, getting up close and personal with the enemy. The feminists cheer. Well, we don't need men. Right. There's so many problems with this. Should we be celebrating the idea of putting women, who are generally speaking 50% weaker physically than men, in hand-to-hand, up-close combat situations? Don't they have the right to an equal chance to live and die? There are strict personal physical requirements to be a combat soldier. Those restrictions are not in place to keep women out. They're in place, quite frankly, to keep people like me out just as much. It is physically grueling to be a combat soldier. You're often carrying 70 to 100 pounds of gear. I mean, most guys can't do that for very long. I'm having a hard time carrying it here around me belly. If no women are able to meet the physical requirements, okay, you could say that. Let them meet the physical requirements. And if they don't, well, they don't. Yeah, right. This is a disastrous idea that will not only weaken our military, but put women's lives at risk because they'll just lower the standards. This is not a game. This is not a chance to show progress. Defending America should be left to those who are most physically capable of doing so. Wherever women are on equal ground as men with pilots, officers, strategy, they're already serving with distinction. In fact, 152 women have died fighting in Afghanistan and Iraq. But tossing women into close quarters combat only seems to make sense for the politician in Washington. And I'm sorry, wasn't it those guys that screwed up Vietnam by trying to score political points? Shaping our military policies to fit political correctness or political agendas only hinders our militaries and our capabilities and, quite honestly, only gets more people killed in the long run.
There are two kinds of standards, all right? One set of standards have to do with personal health, so that for just raw physical fitness for members of the armed forces, you know, how many push-ups, sit-ups, how fast you run a mile, those standards are different for men and women because men and women are different, right? These kinds of standards cannot be different for men and women. These have to do with actually accomplishing the job. And therefore, if the standard is here, and only a small percentage of women could match that standard for reasons that are biological, the standard has to stay there. Otherwise, you're risking mission success.
Let me translate. People die. You want your daughter? Hey, she was fighting for equality. No, she's not. No, she's not. You want her to die? It's insane. Now, a Marine has reacted with this article from the New York Times, if I may. Being an infantryman isn't just about being uncomfortable living situations. It's kill or be killed. Blood, entrails, and fear. We are a brotherhood, a collection of ragtag men who hunt and kill the enemy and travel to undesirable places to do even more undesirable things. Maybe women can join the infantry and succeed, but many of us are not sure. There's more at stake here than equal opportunity and political correctness. Furthermore, may I ask, what direction does this move our society in? We've always been a people who have never hesitated when someone says women and children first. Why would we do that? We're all equal. We're all exactly the same. Why is that a respected and honored concept? Because we're a society that loves our children and loves women, protects children and protects women. And we also know that women and children are not the same. They don't have the same physical capabilities as a grown man. It's something that we don't even question because it's self-evident. You need some Harvard professor to convince you that it's not true. They're either stupid or they're liars, or they're nuts. What happens when we train our soldiers to become desensitized and ignore a woman's cry for help? Because that's what's happening. If you're on the battlefield and she's in trouble, you have to fight your natural instincts to make sure that everybody is treated exactly equal. What happens when a female 18-year-old soldier is taken as a POW? We all know the answer to that. Are you prepared to deal with it? We all know how excruciatingly difficult it is to see videos of a terrorist beheading one of our guys. What happens to our country when they start releasing tapes of them beheading our women, our sisters, our daughters? What happens when they start raping them? America, let's be honest, you don't like to see that stuff because we're still a civil society. And the left would be able to get the gift of their wildest dreams. America would never go to war again. Nobody wants to go to war. Nobody wants to stomach war. But sometimes war is necessary. And if we're not willing in the end to do the things that are necessary to win, then we won't survive as a way of life. Tonight I want to take a look at all of the arguments for and against and see what conclusion you arrive at. I know where I stand, but I told my producers a couple of days ago I don't want straw man arguments. I don't want to preach to the choir, and I know where you stand. Here are some of the results from our latest Blaze poll. 81% say that women should be serving on the front lines. Nope. 85% feel the military would be weakened as a result of implementing women on the front lines. That's mostly because 90% feel the inclusion of women in combat will ultimately lead to the reduction of physical requirements necessary to qualify, And you know that's true. And the overwhelming majority agree that physical standards should be the same for women as it is for men. In the end, it is up to the military brass, in my book, to decide what's needed to get the job done. If they don't want the Osprey, don't give them the Osprey. I don't care that it creates jobs in your district. If they need something, give it to them. If they say, we have to have women, then fine. If they say this is a crappy idea, then we shouldn't be doing it. We're already asking them to fight and die for us. Can't we just listen to the experts in the military? By the way, for all the people that are so gung-ho on this idea, what are you going to say when it's now required that your daughters sign up for the draft? Because that's what it is. I had to sign up for it. Every guy on the floor here had to sign up for selective service. It's just an equal opportunity, you know. Equal opportunity. It seems to me the NFL wants to win more than we do. No NFL team would put a woman on the offensive line. None of them. If there happened to be a 350-pound woman who could dominate the men, Rosie O'Donnell might fit into that category. I'm sure some coach would find a way to get her a job. Where is she? Where is she? Not to be found. But by making the declaration that women are just as capable physically as men, the politically appointed three stooges of our nation, the Leon Panettas of the world, are going to be feeling the pressure when very few, if any, are meeting the grueling physical requirements. So those physical standards and those requirements will gradually go down. And you're lying or you're a fool if you think it wouldn't happen. We all hear about the military. It's too anti-gay, it's too white, it's too conservative, it's too southern, it's too male. Are they good at doing their job? Shouldn't that be our only standard here? Our soldiers are too scary when they're carrying around those guns. Do you remember when Panetta visited Afghanistan and our guys were told to, and I'm quoting, place their M16s and their M4 automatic rifles and 9mm pistols outside and return unarmed? Why did he do that? This was in the middle of a string of attacks on our own guys by Afghans that we were training. Well, we did that because Leon said, we can't have them carry guns, and we don't want them to feel out of place. Blood shooting out of my eyes. Political correctness. He's lucky it didn't lead to the loss of more life. Women make up about 15% of our overall military now. If our combat lines were gradually increased to represent that 15%, how would it translate to the battlefield? Don't ask me, because I don't know my butt from my elbow when it comes to this kind of stuff. We'll go to General Robert Barrow. He's a veteran of 3 wars, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam, former commandant of the Marines. He said, quote, if women comprised 15% of his division, the Marines would have lost the battle. Political correctness and PC dictates should never, ever factor into any military decision. Yet here we are, breaking all the rules of common sense, all in the name of the president's favorite word, fairness. Is there something I'm missing? I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Can this work? Or will it end up exactly as all of the real military experts suspect and claim? Tonight, a very frank discussion, one that you can share with your friends that may not see things the same way. No straw men and no easy comments, just the truth. Tonight, women in combat.